is this brief mortal life, if not the pursuit of legacy?
Okay, everybody, hello and welcome back to Restaurants as we pour out a flagon of our finest Arbor Red, the queen that never was.
Oh man,
Justin, how you doing? You okay? You making it?
Mike, I have to be honest with you, man. I'm not doing okay. I just want to take this time just to pay my respects to the amazing, great, the queen who never was, my auntie. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Renice Target. Renice Valerian, right?
Targaryen. Well, Valerian,
Targaryen. Yeah. Yes, but who was a Targaryen?
Who was a Targaryen?
Who's my true queen, the wisest one of them all, who knew who had common sense. I don't know. You can't see me right now, Mike, but I'm wearing all black. I got my shades on all day. I've been listening to Boys to Men. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And dedicated to my auntie, Renice.
Well, she definitely gave her all.
Oh man.
And we're definitely gonna have to spend a good deal of time talking about her and what she did, why she did it. But let's go through the rest of the episode first, because there's a lot of stuff happening in this episode, and a lot of stuff that they're really kind of jumping off the book here, which I like.
Yeah.
I mean, I know so what the big strokes are, but there's a lot of coloring in between the lines that is really not related to the things that are going on in the book. So it's interesting seeing how this adaptation is working, and I think it's they're definitely making these characters more dense and more layered, especially characters like Aemond and even Daemon. So let's start with Daemon. Daemon.
Oh my gosh, Daemon.
The whole country's going to hell in a handbasket, and Daemon's playing haunted house.
He really is. Does he not know Halloween's not for a few months? He's just really spooking it up over there in Harrenhal right now. And man, I think it's really funny. I've been watching a lot of people on social media say, like, Daemon, how are you gonna trust this random lady, this random witch, to give you a drink where a few days ago you was making a big deal about not eating poison peas? So that just blew my mind right there. Like that, I feel that's kind of off his character for him to be very wary and cautious. For sure, I'm down his off. Maybe it's because of those crazy dreams he's been having. I don't know.
And I think that's it. I think he's not sure whether he's in a dream or not. But you're right. Like he turned down the dinner, delicious venison and black cabbage and peas with no red currant, and but yeah, she's just like mixing stuff with her hands, like she's in a youth group picnic or something. And,
yes. Oh, she is raw, man. I just love her. She's like an owl trapped in a human's body, she said. Alison Rivers we're talking about, by the way.
It's a hard thing, I imagine, to give obeisance to one who replaced you as heir. And a woman, too, a girl child you bounced on your knee. I mean, does it please you that her legitimacy is contested as you stand here with a castle and a dragon, attempting to draw an army of men? Here, drink this. You'll need your sleep if you're to win this place to your side.
Alys Rivers, right?
Alys Rivers, yes.
I think I don't now. So I have to let you know right now, and have the listeners know right now. After this past episode, I do not know what happens in terms of book wise. That's where I actually stopped. It was so good when I was reading the book. I said I actually want to surprise myself and watch it via the show. So I want to say that. And now going back off here, I believe that she's like a what do you call it? Helen of Troy. She's gonna be like the downfall of Daemon, I believe. I think Daemon needs to really watch himself for her. and I'm not trust her. The homegirl looks like she's crazy. And I knew she was crazy when she was, like you said, she was licking the blood off of her fingers like it was nothing. I was like, oh my god, this ain't no normal chick right here.
No, she definitely has an agenda, but like a lot of the, magic women we've seen in
Mhm.
Westeros, we don't really know what that agenda is. And yeah,
Yeah.
she reminds me obviously quite a bit of Melisandre.
Absolutely. The Red Witch.
I just want to point something out. Melisandre should be alive during this period of time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She's hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
And
So I don't know if she's in Westeros or if she's in Essos at this point, but the one Game of Thrones character who could potentially make an appearance somewhere in the series, she is lurking about somewhere.
yeah, I think you definitely would. And that would be great to have her come on and just for me, say the night is dark and full of terror. I will lose my mind.
Yeah.
They gotta make that work somewhere. I don't know how to make it work, but they gotta make it work. But
And
yeah,
they've
she's
got.
definitely.
Go ahead.
Oh no, but yeah, she's definitely is alive. She's definitely, and I wonder if she does have some connection with Alice Rivers as well too. Maybe they're from the same witch school. I don't know.
No, so Alice Rivers she's with like the old gods, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
so this is kind of important. So Harrenhal was built on a weirwood grove, and if you remember from Game of
Yes,
Thrones, weirwood trees are the trees that grow throughout Westeros, and they have magical powers,
yes.
and they're kind of all connected to one another.
hmm
Um, and then there's special weirwood trees known as heart trees, and
Okay.
supposedly they cut down a heart tree in order to make room for this castle. And this is why you see, as he's walking through the castle, you see like roots and branches and stuff almost growing out of the walls. It's like
Even on his bed.
it's like the weirwoods are taking the castle back over. And so
Oh yeah.
all that magic and all that old magic from the old gods. Now, Melisandre she was an adherent of Rolor, the Red God.
Okay, yes,
So
the
that's a
red guy. Yeah.
different kind of faith, and it's a different magic school. So
Okay. Different from Harry Potter as well.
yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a toss off, some kind of competition. I don't even know. I don't know that we're going to see her, but she could potentially, if anybody's
That
going to show up,
would
she could potentially show up.
I will lose my mind, and I will come back to this episode where we said called it, David
Yeah,
called it,
that was us. We saw it.
we saw it. Yes. Oh man, Daemon has it bad, man. I think we're actually seeing a little bit of a human side to him because we're seeing all the things I think he kind of regrets. I would like to say through these visions and dreams, like his true feelings or how he's feeling it. Like I think it was revealed now. If you didn't know this now you know that he definitely had a jealousy towards Rhaenyra, and especially Rhaenyra when she was young, was she was chosen over him to be the heir of the Iron Throne. And how it was so crazy how he treated her when because we saw another cameo of young Rhaenyra. She came back for another episode, which I love. But how he handled that, he chopped off her head immediately. She was still talking. I think that freaked him out. And then fast forward, he sees another vision of his second wife, Lena, and just like her being there. I think he kind of has some regrets in that regard as well too. I think we're seeing some stuff there from based
Yeah.
off of last episode now.
So it makes me wonder if we're gonna see Rhea Royce, the ghost
Yeah.
of Rhea Royce.
Yeah.
But just going back to young Rhaenyra, obviously, they had Millie Alcock back
I love
for
that.
another episode.
Bring
I don't
it
know
back.
if you remember, but think back to the first scene that we saw Daemon
In the whole series?
in the whole series back in episode 1
Oh.
was a scene in the throne room with
Yes.
Rhaenyra But in this
Yes.
one, Rhaenyra comes into the throne room, and Daemon was sitting on the throne. And so this reverses it. Daemon comes into the throne room, and Rhaenyra is sitting on the throne.
Oh, the parallel.
And,
That's
well,
right.
not only that, but it's this reversal of position, because in the beginning of the series, right, Daemon was the presumptive heir. And
Yes,
so
yes,
he
yes.
was sitting on the throne like I'm going to be the next guy, you know, and having always thought that he was better than his brother anyway. But now we see their positions are reversed, where Rhaenyra
Absolutely.
is sitting on the throne, you know, and Daemon is the one who's approaching her. So I thought it was an interesting way to kind of juxtapose those two scenes and the relative positions of these characters, and how Daemon is seeing himself and seeing his relationship with Rhaenyra.
Oh man, I think you really hit it on the nail because I didn't see it like that, and I want to rewatch it now. Now you sharing that just to see like you said, the reversals of that, and I think that's just I love it. Just it's just pure poetry to me in that way, and you see it just like you said, the change of powers amongst the two, and how he handles it. That's just pure beauty to me.
Yeah, and then obviously on the other side of that, we've got, you know, Damon's doppelganger, Aemond,
Oh
who,
yes, what
you
was
know,
that all about?
so there's a few things there, right? Is
Talk to me. Talk to
he's
me.
he's trying to, he's trying to belittle his brother. You know, he's another one who thinks that, I am more capable of ruling than my brother is. You
Oh
know,
wait,
I
are you talking about Aiden? Okay.
Aemond, yeah. Like I should be, and there was even that scene in Damon's dream where he's walking through the
That's what I
castle
thought.
following Aemond,
Yes.
but
But
when
it
he
was
turns around,
Damon.
it's Daemon.
Damon with the patch.
And so that's just kind of really hitting us on the head that these are the same people, just in
Oh,
different situations.
and I love that.
They're definitely connected, and they definitely are filling the same role on each of their given teams, right?
Yeah. I like the fact that George R. Martin gives us a villain to hate, no matter what side you are. So if you're Team Black, you have Aemon. That's the main. Like right now, is currently the main villain. And if you're Team Green, you got Damon to go and hate for. You know what I mean? And it's just it's amazing. If you don't
Yeah.
like the
So
Kool-Aid
but
over there,
that's an invention of the show, because Aemond in the book is a lot different, and he's a lot more connected to his brother. And in fact, in the battle of Rook's
they're
Rest,
together.
they go out together.
Yeah.
So they definitely change this up. But George Martin he is one of the producers on the show. He is involved in the creative decisions, along with Ryan Conlon and the other producers. So yeah, you're right though. They give us
To
somebody to
hate.
hate,
No matter what you pick.
no
Don't
matter what
worry,
you
we got
think.
something for you.
And then
And you
of course, there's a universal Kristen Cole, but we'll get to him later.
oh my god. Oh, the Nexus being. I can't stand him, man. I say it guys, for every time I say I can't stand Kristen Cole, please take a drink off me. Or shout out for me. Yeah, I can't stand him. See him out of high tower. Oh man.
A
But yeah,
toad.
I think oh yeah, who's been MIA. So I wonder if we're gonna see any more of him this season. I know you probably know. It's gonna be very interesting. I have to be careful because I know a lot of people putting up spoilers online and stuff. So
Right, but I think we as we demonstrated, right? They're not following the book necessarily.
no,
I mean,
no, and
they're hitting the big beats, but we've got a couple of things coming up that are going to be kind of interesting to see
yeah,
how how they follow along, and are they going to really follow along as far as the book goes, because so fine, you've had you know you had Duskendale and you had Rook's Rest in this
mm-hmm.
episode. So they've already been, in the book, the next thing is the dragon seeds. And
Oh,
so
they've been talking about.
they've been setting up for that. And then, after that, you've got, the battle of the Gullet and the Battle of Honeywine. So, there's still plenty to do this season.
Okay, this season. 4 episodes.
Right. So, and I have read that episode 7 is a longer episode and has got a couple of additional like content warnings on it compared to the other ones. So I'm kind of wondering what? Yeah, violence and mature language and mature scenes and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
So I'm kind of wondering, are they going to try to give us the Gullet in that episode?
Oh my gosh!
Do the Dragon Seed next week and the Gullet the week after? I mean, that would certainly make sense. Those of you who have read the book, you know what's coming in the Battle of the Gullet. So
I do not know.
I know. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, thank you. Well, you said you got a smile on your face, so
I definitely do.
Oh man!
So yeah, be interesting to see because there's 8 episodes this season. So there's a traditional Game of Thrones season, a Game of Thrones tradition. The penultimate episode of a season, the episode before the last one is always the big battle or the big thing going on. The big moment, right? You had you had Baelor in the first season. You had I think you had we had Watchers on the Wall in the 3rd season, the Battle of Castle Black. We had Battle of the Bastards was in episode 9. They always Blackwater I think was in episode 9. So they always try to do they always try to do this big thing before they go out. So I'm wondering if they're going to try to do this big thing in episode 7 before they go out for the break.
And it has never failed them. So keep on doing that. I think Hard Home too. It was season 5.
Hard Home was episode 8.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Hard Home kind of breaks the mold a little bit. Hard Home was episode 8.
Was there another battle? Okay, I agree. Yeah, it was episode 8, season 5, episode 8. Oh wow! Well, like you said, I think you're right. I think they're gonna do something. I'm excited. I normally do not like constant warnings, you guys, and stuff. I'm weird like that. It freaks me out, but that actually got me kind of excited. This show's gotten me so good. Would you say that this episode was like the best episode so far in the series?
Not only would I say that, but I mean that's basically what people are saying.
Yes.
It's the highest rated episode of the season of the entire series on IMDb. It's got like a 97
of this series.
Of this series, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. I can definitely, yeah. I feel like I go back and forth. For me, I'm a little bit conflicted because I read this section of the book. I knew it was coming, so it kind of like drowned out my oh my gosh type of moment. You know what I mean? But still, nevertheless, from beginning to especially towards the end, oh man, it was still amazing. And I can definitely agree with everybody saying that was the best episode thus far. And I feel like Mike, please enlighten me. Tell me that's gonna be even better. It's gonna be better battles set ahead.
Well, I mean, we do have. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot about. Like I said, we've got Gullet coming up. We've got Honeywine.
Battle of the God's Eye or something like that.
That's kind of way down the pike.
Yeah, okay.
So, and I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I thought we'd wind up with the fall of King's Landing at the end of the season. I'm not 100% convinced I'm right. And maybe asking a little too much of them because we still have the Battle of the Gullet, we have the Battle of the Honeywine,
so many battles,
and the Battle of the Red Fork. At least in the book, those are all before King's Landing. So that's a lot to get done in 3 episodes or 4 episodes. Right, we have
Yeah.
6, 7, 8. We have 3 episodes. So no,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Well,
We have 4 episodes
yeah.
left. That's a lot to get done. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna wind up. But on the other hand, like, I mean, Honeywine and the Red Fork are not probably as big and dramatic as like the Gullet is and Rook's Rest is. So I don't know. Maybe they do those like smaller, like they did with the Burning Mill.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of like this thing happened. The interesting thing is that in the Honeywine, which is not that long away, in the books, that's Otto and Darren come for that battle.
Oh.
And we haven't seen Darren
At all.
At all. And as far as I know, there's nobody's. They never announced the casting. They never announced that character's actually in the season. So either they're doing a really, really good job of hiding it, or they're pushing this thing off a little more. And if they're going for 4 seasons, I can see them pushing off a little more.
Oh man, I was kind of hoping more of the former, like they're hiding it and that we get to see it as a good surprise.
That would be cool if the last or episode 8 if Darren shows up, Darren the Daring shows up with his little dragon and at least we see him. Maybe it's a cameo. Maybe it's just here he is and
I would love that. And is he the youngest, or is he like in between like Aegon and Aemon?
He's right behind. He's younger than Aemon, but he's older. Yeah, he's younger than Aemon, so I guess he's Alicent's youngest.
Oh, okay. Man, that's gonna be interesting.
Because you have Aegon, Helena, and then Aemon. Yeah, and Darren. I think that's it. And then, so he's probably the youngest, and he's he's obviously off in Old Town.
Yep.
With the High Towers, so but he's supposed to come and do some stuff. So I don't know if we're going to see him this season or not. But it'd be interesting to see.
One good wish.
Yeah. So then we've got we've got the small council meeting with.
Well, are we going there?
Aegon and Aemon.
Okay. We're going there. All right.
Oh, we have to go there.
We gotta go there because that was this hot mess. And you know what? Props Aemon. As much as I don't like Aemon, I like how petty he is. That man is very petty.
He is. He definitely is. There's a lot of passive aggression in that man.
Oh man! And so crazy, Mike, because this goes back to last episode where we're basically, and not even just last episode, just throughout the series, where you see Aegon just tormenting Aemon and making fun of him and whatnot, and he just sits there. And also about how he's making the power move all last episode and but man, the way it translated into this episode on so many levels, I was just like, wow. Like, remind me if I was ever in an area with Aemon to never piss him off, never embarrass him, never belittle him, because he's coming for me one way or another, and probably in multiple degrees, fashions. And that's exactly what he did to his brother. Oh man.
When he starts just ripping on him in High Valyrian.
There you go. Yes. I had to really have paid attention because when I was first watching it, I was like, "What is first of all like?" Because he's speaking it fluently, and Aegon was like, "Oh, I can make war." Yeah, and you can see
Aegon's like he just finished the Duolingo course and he's ready to go.
Oh. I love it. Yes. Oh man, that was such a big power move. And I heard somebody say once he started doing that, you could literally feel the power being transferred from Aegon right over to Aemon. And it was at that moment, Aegon may be quote quote king, but it's really Aemon's running stuff. Aemon's running the show.
Absolutely. And
And
you know what so what he says to him is like, you're just busy, like putting your friends on the King's Guard and worrying about your sobriquets, it's like, so, and do you understand what he was saying to him? He's like, so
you're not fit.
Well,
You
it's not
suck.
only that. It's like you're so worried about your legacy and making people like you. So the sobriquet is like, so these kings, a lot of them have like this nickname after their name because let's create it. Let's face it, the Targaryens are not particularly creative with names. They've got a very shallow pool. So so there are 5 kings named Aegon in the history of Westeros, right?
Oh my gosh.
Aegon. So they have these sobriquets. They have these little things after their name to set them up to tell them apart. Because it's kind of boring to be like Aegon 2. So it's like so you have Aegon, the first Aegon. You have Aegon the Conqueror or Aegon the Dragon. Then you have Aegon 2, who's this guy, who is depending on who you're talking to, is the Aegon the Usurper is his kind of common name. But they were kind of making fun of that, when they were doing the the scene in the throne room where the guys are like, the magnanimous, and then they're coming up with the the dragon, whatever, and blah blah blah. So, and he's also known as Aegon the Elder, because the third Aegon, the next King Aegon, is crowned when he is 11 years old. So he's known as Aegon the Younger, or Dragonsbane, Aegon Dragonsbane, because he is terrified of dragons, won't ride one, won't go anywhere near one, gets angry with people even mention him. He's a Targaryen who hates dragons.
That's wild. That's your biggest weapon, your skill right there.
Yeah. So then there's Aegon 4, who is Aegon the Unworthy, who's basically just a fat, lazy slob who just goes around. And what he did was when he was about to die, because he was sick when he was about to die, he legitimized all his bastards, and there were a lot of them.
Oh my gosh.
And so that starts what's known as the Blackfire Rebellion, where all his bastards rise up and they're like, hey, we're Targaryens. It's official now. We should be in power. So there's like 70 years of rebellions. And then the last one was Aegon 5, who's known as Aegon the Unlikely, because he was the 4th son of his father. So it was very unusual that someone his age would be in his position would be king, but his 2 older brothers died. His next older brother was a maester in the Citadel, and in the Night's yes, and then went on to join the Night's Watch. That's Maester Aemon from Game of Thrones.
Hey.
Jon Snow's mentor is Aegon the Unlikely's brother.
There we go.
And Aegon. If I don't know if you've heard of the Duncan Egg books.
Yes, he's Egg.
He's Egg, right?
Which there are. There's a series coming out.
Yeah, there's a series coming up with Duncan Egg, and Duncan Egg is a story of Aegon the Unlikely when he was a young squire for a knight named Duncan, and there was no chance of him becoming king, so he was squiring for this knight, and they went on all these adventures and stuff. And Aegon the Unlikely is Daenerys's great grandfather. So,
wow, I heard I heard about his fate as well too.
Yeah.
Which is but I'll talk to you about that after. Ladies and gentlemen, the living encyclopedia of Westeros, Mike Mahoney.
So anyway, that's what Aemon is teasing his brother about. It's like, you're just worried about like what your name is going to be, or having your buddies around and stuff like that, where we're actually out here trying to win the war. And it's kind of the same conversation that they're having with Rhaenyra, right? Jace is getting on her case.
I know, he was feisty.
Like, where you've been, where'd you go? You just disappeared. And we're out here trying to do this, and you're nowhere to be found. And Aemon's, so there's a lot of parallels here. Aemon and the small council are having the same conversation with Aegon.
Yeah.
And it's so it's really, and then Alicent is just, she's done. She is done. She can't even anymore with him. And when she sits down and she's just like, and he's like, you better watch it. When she's like, you're not half the king your father was or whatever. And she's like, you better watch it. And she's like, or what?
You gonna hang me? Like he's all the rat catchers?
And that breaks him. And he's like, okay, so what would you have me do? And she's like, what you need to do? Nothing.
Nothing. That was hard.
Yeah.
You have no idea the sacrifices that were made to put you on that throne.
What would you have me do, Mother?
Do simply what is needed of you. Nothing.
That was hard.
But I'm kind of wondering if Aemon is intentionally egging him on because he knows he's going to do something stupid.
Oh yeah. And let me tell you something right now. Aemon, I do not like him. Aemon knows how to play this game. He knows how to play Game of Thrones. He knows what to say to whoever he's talking to, how to say it, to probably get the reaction that he wants from them.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we see the results of his actions towards his brother.
No, definitely. And he knows what he's doing. He knows how to push his brother's buttons and get him to do something stupid. And plus, he's got years of payback, and he hasn't forgotten what happened in the brothel last week.
Oh my gosh!
And so
I was not expecting that at all, man. I mean, all because he shamed him like that. That's wow. That tells me once again, I will never want to do any type of wrong to Aemon or someone of that caliber because, wow.
Yeah, he will come for you, and he will win. He will get you. But but we talk about Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra and the Blacks they're going through the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They're having these issues. She's kind of an absentee. She runs off and does her things, and they don't know where she is. They're trying to win this. They're trying to win this battle. They're trying to win this war. They're trying to gather people together. Daemon's off doing whatever Daemon's doing, and nobody's heard from him.
He's in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, he definitely has gone down the rabbit hole.
Oh man. Yeah, I think Rhaenyra is just. I'm kind of like on Jace's side. I don't appreciate him talking to his mom like that, obviously. But I can definitely get what he is. I can definitely get what all her other council members are saying. Like, listen, enough is enough. We need to actually be on the attack. Like, they could have took out Kristen Cole and their other team, but Baylor was told not to engage. It could have been over multiple times. Last season, my auntie, Rhaenys could have took out the whole team green right then and there. But Rhaenyra's trying to do everything she can to, hold off on any type of war, if any type of shed of blood that she doesn't want to prevent. She wants to prevent that, but it's time to shed blood. Enough is enough.
It is time. It's time to let the dragons out, and she comes to realize that,
Yeah. And now that she lost Rhaenys, I saw that somebody said I think Rhaenys was like a good barrier for her to have consciousness, to have judgment. Like don't act out in such a way, because you saw it even in the last episode. Rhaenys told her, "So I spoke with Alys, and Alys kind of did want to have some peace. Perhaps if you talk to her, you might have that type of solution." So she doesn't have that type of advice right now, because everybody else is feeding for blood right now. So I think if Rhaenyra's being pushed by those sides, is being pressured by those sides, we are definitely gonna see like 0 to 100. We're gonna see the Targaryen come out. We're gonna see the what Olenna's told Daenerys. Don't be a sheep, be a dragon. You're a dragon, be a dragon.
Absolutely, and I think Rhaenys knows that they've
Rest
gone
in peace.
they've gone beyond it. They've gone beyond the point. There can be no peace. This is not going to end bloodlessly. And
Yeah,
so what's the other option is to make it end quickly, you
yeah.
know. Don't
Let's go out of
prolong
here.
don't prolong it. Get it in, get going, get it over with, I think.
Yeah,
Is kind of what she's thinking here. And
yeah.
and then, maybe there'll still be some people left to rule when this whole thing is over. Like
Maybe.
Daenerys said, I didn't come here to be queen of the ashes.
Oh, Lord.
Rhaenyra does not want to be queen of the ashes either.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. She. They're making us like her, and I do like. I always did like Rhaenyra, but I don't know if they're doing a little bit too much because even when Sir Eric tried to kill her, they still buried him along with his brother, and she still justified his action, like he's always being, diligent towards his cause, whatnot.
Yeah, he
So
upheld his oath. If
yeah,
if he believes that Aegon is the rightful king, then he's got no choice but to do what he did. She doesn't hold
yeah,
that against him.
he does not. And I'm like, oh, so they're making her seem like she's really standing for it with justice and loyalty. She understands that stuff, but I'm like, Renee, you better listen. That's not only gonna get you, but so far. You better get on that dragon and start burning things up.
So I guess we have gotten to what we need to get to, and that's the Battle
Oh
of
boy.
Rook's Rest.
I need a moment. You don't understand how emotional I am, man.
I understand.
Oh man.
We've gotten through, almost half an hour without talking about Sir Crispy.
Oh gosh. And you had to ruin a good time. It was such a good episode, man. We having some good laughs and joys. And you got to bring up that name. All right, let's get on with it. Yes, Sir
Look,
Crispy.
seeing Sir Crispy face down in the dirt while the battle waged on around him, and Sir Gawain mounting the charge into the castle. I was okay with all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted a different type of thing for Sir Crispy. I really wanted him to get crisped up. It was okay. I find it very interesting though that Game of Thrones has kind of like a trope where you do these big battles, especially with the main characters. They get knocked down, get knocked out until like the end of the battle, and they're okay. We see it with the Battle of Blackwater in season 2 with Tyrion, where he kind of gets knocked out at a certain point, and he wakes up and Bronn saves him. And we see here towards Crispy, Rice Krispies, and he gets knocked out, and he's up and he's all burnt out, and like the war's just all back already over, and he's looking for the king. I think he's supposed to go look for the king, right?
He at the end he sets off to go look for the king. Yeah, but he's got the. So let's back up a little bit. I mean, he's got this thing going on with Aemond, where they're making plans and they're kind of doing whatever, and
Yeah.
Aegon's like, well, how do this? How do this and this is happening? And it's like, how do you know? It's like, well, you told me.
That kind of threw me off too because I thought that Aegon and Sir Crispin had like a great relationship. So much so we see him name him the hand of the king and whatnot. So for him to do all that, secret, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing, right? Is Sir Crispy's a fool, but he's not a complete fool, and even he can see that. I think that Aemond is more capable. And
I'm conflicted by that. I'm conflicted by that. I'm sorry. I'm conflicted by that statement. It makes sense what you said because the way it did it. Like, yes, he does. He can realize that Aemond's Aemond's more the person to go to with the war stuff. But then you got him making moves like with the twins. Like you send the twins over there, and then how that ended up with how he's just blaming everybody for his own mistakes. So I feel like it's not properly adding up. That's just my look at it right now. My look at the character of Sir Crispin Cole.
Well, I think he looks at Aemond as like kind of like a kindred spirit, like he's a warrior like me. He's serious like I am. He's he's a fighter like I am, and
Okay.
the king has put me in this position, but the king's an idiot, and I know
He's
it.
an idiot, though.
Everybody knows it.
I think they're both idiots.
They're both, yeah, but but the king's really an idiot. He's laughing, goofing, hanging out. He's not serious about anything. He's got I think that Krista was really ticked off when Aegon named his friends to the Kingsguard. I think that was the end of it right there. He was like, "Oh, wait, you're gonna do this? Okay, all right,
okay, okay."
You guys hang out, and I'm gonna go win a war right now. And
have that drink.
Yeah, exactly.
All four.
Be magnanimous.
Yes, please.
So, and I think Aemond is able to further that goal for him, because Aemond is more serious, he's more studied, he understands the history, he paid attention in class, so to speak, and plus Vhagar.
Yeah.
You got the biggest nuclear bomb in the arsenal. Yeah, you're gonna put that on your team. You're gonna want to deal with that. They've got 2 dragons. One is an inexperienced rider on a small dragon. The other is a serious cutthroat, on Granny War Crimes. So,
oh my God,
there's really not a lot of choice here.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Oh man!
Right, and you can't leave King's Landing undefended. So he can't. Unlike they did in the book, Rook's Rest is close to King's Landing, but he can't be dragging the king out on Sunfire all over the country.
That's true.
And risk, because he will get himself killed, and
sure will.
So it's much better that he plots with Aegon or Aemond, and Aemond wants to take Harrenhal. Cole wants to take Harrenhal. So these guys are alike minds. So I don't know. I guess it makes sense to me that they're kind of plotting together. But the fact that they, and I think this is all Aemond, that they are doing it behind Aegon's back and waiting for him to drop the bomb on the table and be like, "Oh yeah, I've been talking to Cole. We got this all figured out. It's cool.
Yeah.
We got it. We got to handle."
Why we forgot the plans, and then he tried to move all the pieces on the board back to how he wanted, but Aemond came back and the power plays that I've seen within the last 5 minutes has been ridiculous. It's just he said, "Oh, so you want to really embarrass me?"
Right, but the only real power is really Aemond. Aegon has got nominal power, but he doesn't really know how to exercise it properly. And it's funny because I just watched during the right before I got on, when I was waiting for you to be ready and stuff, I was just rolling through some videos, and I watched the video of Tywin sending Joffrey to bed, basically.
My God.
The king is tired.
I am the king! I will punish you.
Any man who must say, "I am the king," is no true king. I'll make sure you understand that when I've won your war for you.
My father won the real war. He killed Prince Rhaegar. He took the crown while you hid under Castle Rock.
The king is tired. See him to his chambers.
Come along.
I'm not tired.
We have so much to celebrate. A wedding to plan. You must rest.
Grand Maester, perhaps some essence of nightshade to help him sleep.
I'm not tired!
Yeah, I am not tired. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a
but I mean, in that meeting, right? You've got Tyrion basically threatening Joffrey, right?
yeah.
Everyone is mine to torment. You do well to remember that, you little monster.
Oh, I'm a monster. Perhaps you should speak to me more softly then. Monsters are dangerous, and just now kings are dying like flies.
Oh, I'm a monster? Then you should be careful because monsters are dangerous and kings are dying right now,
The dog like flies, yes.
and then you have Tywin who's giving him the whole, any king who has to say I am the king is no true king, and then basically sending him off to bed with a little nightshade to make sure he stays there.
Cersei understood the excitement immediately. She got him up. Perhaps yes, you are tired.
He absolutely did. And so it's very much Joffrey is the king. Joffrey in theory can give Tywin an order and Tywin would have to follow it, right? If there was any weight behind that, and there's not, and it's the same thing with Aegon. He's the king,
man.
but there's no weight behind it. Yeah, the small folk are going to listen to him. Yeah, the lower level palace people are going to listen to him, but these people in that room, none of them are intimidated by him.
Yeah, I like how he says, "You all bore me," and he walks off.
Yeah,
and they get up as he's walking off, and the moment he leaves, without missing a beat, they continue on having a conversation.
They're right back in the conversation. Here's what we need to do. Here's what's going on. Thank God he's gone.
Yeah, as we were saying. Oh man, poor Aegon.
And I think there's something too that Aemond was pushing him that way to get him to do something stupid.
Yeah.
And it worked out probably even better than he thought.
Oh yeah, you saw that scene, but he looked up. He was about to go handle business with Rhaenys, but then he saw his brother. He said, "Vagar, not yet. Just relax.
Take another nap, Granny. We got a couple of minutes.
This is the previews.
Let's watch this play out."
Yes, absolutely. He knows how to play the game, man. I'm about to kill two birds with one stone, easy.
Right. So let's talk about Rhaenys, and I got I'm going to tell you I like the scenes where she goes to Meleys and is talking to her, and even when Aegon is going to Sunfire and Sunfire is
that was funny,
kind of playful him.
That's gonna be a meme, by the way. I just want to say that meme. That scene between that drunk Aegon, because he was drunk like crazy and didn't see Sunfire. I love Sunfire. Rest in peace for Sunfire. That scene where he, they give the affection, the love. You please be watching. I guarantee that's gonna be a meme for the future. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
Yeah, probably could be. I may have to make one, but it's just a matter of the connection that they have with their dragons, and then Rhaenys is the thing about Rhaenys is now she's all in. She was like, I'm gonna sue for peace as long as I can, but when that runs out, I'm going for war, and. She just gets up on that small council, which Corlys finally shows up to one, and then
I know,
and she's off to do the thing, and she's completely committed to it when she's in the battle. Now in the book, part of it is that her and Meleys are inexperienced; they haven't been in a battle. This seems to insinuate that they have been in battles.
That's what I was under the impression of. I thought she was very experienced.
And I'm okay with it. I like that. I like the fact that she knows what she's doing and that she's, it's not about her inexperience. It's just about she just got overpowered. And
Oh man, yeah.
that first fight with Melis and Sunfire was really good.
Oh, I enjoyed all of it. That was so good. And the little smile when she saw of the king coming in on Sunflower, she knew good and well that battle was just good as one.
Right, because she was expecting that it was going to be Aemon and Vhagar.
Yeah.
And,
That one.
so I think in her mind, she's kind of like, well, I'm not going to get them both.
Yeah. And two, the fact that she probably didn't know it, but the fact that he was drunk, so that messes up his judgment, and the fact that he doesn't even know High Valyrian, to which the dragons understand. You know what I mean? All he did know Dracarys, which is important, but you need some other words to control that dragon.
You need some other things, right? You need to be talking. You need to be talking to that dragon. And you need to be, giving it, little commands or whatever. Like I thought it was clever when Rhaenys had Melis go, upside down.
Oh right? My gosh!
Yes! And they're fighting like birds of prey, like two eagles fighting or something like that. They're gripping each other with their talons and they're just kind of spinning around and falling, and it's very chaotic and it's very crazy, and they're falling on the ground, and Vhagar's running over people, and she's trying to get her big old butt up in the air, and
she sure was.
And it's like this, crazy, chaotic battle, and it's what you come to, it's honestly, it's everything we were hoping for with Dance of Dragons, right? And and then there's that moment where it's just
you knew
it's coming.
She knew. You saw the dragon knew, Rhaenys knew, and the audience knew. We all, and it was that moment was just, I don't know about you, I felt so helpless. I was very emotional. I was very weak because it's like, wow, this is really it. This is how it's gonna go. It's like you wanna do what you can to change the situation, but you can't do nothing. And sure enough, you see her, both of them. Oh man, just falling from the sky.
Yeah, and Daemon, Aemon comes out of nowhere, and when Vhagar grabs onto Melis like that, and Melis like turns and looks back at Rhaenys.
That's the thing, yes, man, that was so heartbreaking. It was like, I'm so sorry I failed you. Like, you can see the bond that they really had as between Dragon and Dragon Rider. The bond right there. And just the fact that she wasn't able to accomplish what Rhaenys wanted her to accomplish.
Right. And she also knows that, her dying probably means Rhaenys is dying.
Yes. Yeah. I think she was apologizing in that moment too. Like, I'm sorry that this is gonna be your fate as well too.
Yeah.
Which is wild because, and I see a lot of people talk about it, but there was multiple times within this, Rhaenys could have gotten away. Like, she literally could have ran up, but she actually went back.
Yeah. Well, she knew it. Just, I think her turning around. I mean, I don't know. What did you make of her turning around? Because she was out. She
was out, and I think that would have been the most common thing. But I think she realized that this is my take of it. I think she realized that if you really want to make a staple, you really want to make a mark, you really want to do a chances to even damage Vhagar for future fights, that'll be her opportunity for her to leave her mark, if that makes sense. So I think she deliberately went back just to make sure she can leave her mark in assuring the blacks to win. So while she might be in dying, perhaps by, like I said, injuring Vhagar, we don't know what was really part, or maybe injuring the armies, like burning up the armies, now the king's armies. She's leaving her impacted. That's how I'm viewing it and whatnot. Because I would have been out. I was like, oh, we gotta go. This we gotta retreat. This is clearly not a match we're gonna win. But I felt like she felt like it was a suicide mission.
Do you Do you think it like I was wondering if it had anything to do with Aegon being there? Did she think she had a shot at
Even with well, what's interesting? Because there was a lot of stuff that's happening. I mean, the king was there, and she could have had a thought where if I take the king out right now, this will end everything. So there's that. What throws me off is when what's his name, Aemon, Jakar's both of them. It was clear that he took out. So I wonder what her mindset was out there. Because in that mindset, for me, I go, oh my gosh, Aemon's definitely a traitor, and he definitely was up to killing his brother like that. But going back to her, the king being there, maybe the fact that Aemon took the king out, and she took out Aemon, then basically the Greens would have been defenseless. Because who else would they have? Darian and Helena, and maybe some dragon seeds.
right?
So I don't know. I don't fully know. I feel like I'm wondering. I've been hearing a lot of people's theories about her turning back. I think also dragon riders, like you see how her daughter what's her name, Bela?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a Bela Lena. How she said that she wanted to have a furious dragon riders like Death, well, she was about that lifestyle. So perhaps Mom reflected that as well. Like she says, I'm not, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out in a glorious fashion. And she really did it out in a glorious fashion. Like mid battle, falling to her death. So there's different theories I have. Um, Still, even despite my theories, I still don't understand why she went back. Because she fastened her saddle and Lily went back. And that's just stuff like, oh man, like you just really want to see yourself. By the way, I like what Alice's brother said. Like you give it a liking to death or something like that. So I want to use that to Rainey's rest in peace though. She must have given a liking to death itself.
Right. Yeah. So Eve Best, who's the actor who portrays Rhaenys, she did an interview with Variety, and she said that it was like, and her impression was that it was, Rhaenys knew that this was like the nuclear option. It was just like this is escalating it to its highest level because that's what has to happen right now. Like it's almost like she knows that she's leaving Rhaenyra behind with no good advisors, really.
Yeah.
And I'm counting Corlys among that, because Corlys has his own agenda. She doesn't have it. Rhaenyra does not have a hand.
She does not.
Rhaenys was, for all practical purposes, was acting as her hand. And
sure.
So now the only thing that she can really do is, just kick this thing into high gear so that Rhaenyra has no option but to throw everything she has at it.
It kind of reminds me of what's her name, Masande, where she told right before she was executed, her last words was Jakartas.
Right.
And that was her notion to tell Daenerys to kick it to high
burn it all down. Yeah.
Burn it all down. So maybe her going back and her dying was her way of saying to Daenerys, Jakartas.
Yeah, and I think she had, she thought maybe she had a shot at taking Aegon out before.
Yeah, initially, yeah.
She went out, and then, that obviously that changes everything.
Yeah, and I can't believe that was actually Crispin Cole's initial plan, was to lure a dragon from the black side. Which I feel like that to me, I don't think I still stand by it.
Well, because they have Vhagar, right?
Yeah.
So they're thinking that nobody can beat Vhagar.
Yeah, that Vhagar is like Vhagar reminds me of a Rocky opponent for any of the Rocky movies. Like he's invincible till Rocky.
So especially because they know that Daemon's not there. So the only the only dragon that could really probably threaten Vhagar is Syraxis. So
Vermithor.
Vermithor doesn't have a rider. So
That's true.
so the only one that they have right now that is Daemon and Syraxis, and he's not there. So it's going to be either Rhaenyra or Rhaenys or Bela or Jace.
Oh no. Yeah.
And Aegon's Vhagar's going to take all of them. So he's looking. So Cole's fighting what's called a war of attrition, right? Which is a war of attrition is where you just wear your opponent down, and you take losses because you could take more losses than your opponent can.
Okay, that's like Muhammad Ali when he fought George Foreman.
Right, or it's like when Russia and Japan had a fight in the early 20th century. Japan's got like 1 million soldiers, and Russia's got like 20 million soldiers, and Russia's like, I could do this all day.
Yeah, okay, Captain.
And so that's what Cole's goal is here. He's like, if I could draw a dragon out, they have one less dragon. And then if the next battle I could draw another one of their dragons out, now they have 2 less dragons.
Yes, okay.
And that's kind of what he's going for. And the fact that Meleys was kind of holding her own.
Meleys is fast. That's the thing about
she's
it. That's
fast. She's clever. She was getting underneath. She was slicing it at the belly. She's doing all these things. But Vhagar's Vhagar, and
Vhagar is Vhagar. Oh my god!
It's gonna take a big old dragon, a big old smart dragon, to bring her down.
I hope so, man. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I gotta see that action. I think I'm gonna rejoice the way I did when Joffrey died, when Vhagar goes down. That's wild to say, but I just can't wait.
So, and Aegon, obviously Aegon is, another big departure from the book is the fact that Cole goes over there and he catches Aemond with his sword out.
What is that all about? Like, is he?
I think it's pretty obvious what that's all about.
That to me just blows my mind. That he like, just because he tortured you, he's really out to kill his brother. And it's like, what makes you think he's not gonna do it like next episode if he's alive? Because I don't even know if he's alive.
He's alive. Yeah.
You know what? You're right. They always say if you don't really see the person die on screen, then that person's gonna be like,
it's just from a story point of view, it's way too early. Because if he's dead, then there's nobody really then who's challenging Rhaenyra?
I would say Aemond.
But Aemond is next in line, so to speak. But
he'll take it. And did you notice that he's in possession of the cap claw, what do we call it, claw dagger?
The cat, right? Well, he picks up the dagger.
Oh, I think he's in possession of it. I think by him picking it up, because he has no use of this. If I see a scene with Aemond with that dagger, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
So I don't think it's like terrible spoilers to go to the next step. Aegon is alive. He's very, very badly injured. In the book, the way they describe it in the book is that the heat from Vhagar's flames basically fused the armor onto his skin. So he can't even really remove the armor.
Oh my god.
And he didn't come out of his chambers for almost a year. And Aemond was named Protector of the Realm, and he basically kind of took over. He didn't style himself like regent or anything like that, but he basically takes over. So I imagine we're going to see something very similar to that.
All the more reason for me to hate Aemond even more. All the more reason. So I'm glad that happens. Build up my hate towards him for when he finally goes down. I can literally throw a party. And Mike, you're more than invited to come to this party.
Okay. I'll be there.
Please do, please do. I can't, because right now this guy's doing the most. I can't stand him. I can't stand a few people, and they're still alive. I don't understand. All the people I can't stand in this show are still alive, where they're killing all the people that I truly love and cherish. I just don't. I don't get it. I just don't. But I'm a patient person.
Remember what I told you at the beginning. Don't get attached to anybody.
You never. With Game of Thrones, you never. I would. Yeah, and I agree with you. And I did make a mistake. I got attached to Renice. I love her. I love her wit. I love how, and she's true. Let me tell you, she's can I break down why she's GOAT. She's the GOAT in my eyes. She's the MVP for a few reasons. There's two parts. Two parts. First one dealing with Rhaenyra. Second part dealing with her trifling husband, now widow, Corliss. And first one is with Rhaenyra. She was under the impression that Rhaenyra and Daemon, had something to do with her daughter's death and her son's death. Well, now I don't know about the daughter. She probably blamed Daemon for her daughter's death a little bit, and then but she definitely has something to do with her son's or Laenor's quote unquote death. She doesn't know that Laenor's still alive. Despite all of that, she still was loyal to Rhaenyra towards till the very end. And the sad part is she doesn't even know the truth. Game of Thrones has a way of doing stuff like that because even with Catelyn Stark, like she didn't know about the fate of her daughters and whatnot, or even with Jon Snow. But I digress. So that's one. And Rhaenyra allowed that to still happen. Two, with Corlys and his illegitimate sons. With that scene right there where she goes to meet who's that one that she met with? Do you know what I'm talking about? Mike?
You mean with Alan?
Yes. And how she went up to her and that scene is big. She told us that she was well aware that her husband, who she was loyal to, was unfaithful towards her. And did she go crazy? No. She said, I can imagine that your mother was very, very beautiful, which implied that, she had to do something for her husband to go out and, have a sneaky link, to cheat on her like that. And then when she confronted Corlys on that, she didn't flip out. She says, you need to do right by him by bringing her in and legitimizing him. That's one. And making him the heir of his land. Which I saw a joke saying that, you know what, Catelyn Stark would never, because you see how Catelyn Stark acted with Jon Snow. I just chuckle at that, but I was just like,
but there's a difference. Is that Catelyn Stark had children who were capable, whereas Corlys doesn't really. Like his daughter or his granddaughter, like they were saying, like, she's going to be Lord of the Tides. She doesn't know anything about boats, No, whereas Alan is a very capable sailor, and he would be a good Lord of the Tides.
But you know what?
Go ahead.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. And that to me feels the reason of why Renice is so much amazing. Because she was able to recognize that and I'm assuming she put her feelings aside. Because technically, if you think about it, Alan's not blood related to her. But she's definitely blood related to her husband. And says, you need to make him like that. You need to make, because of all those reasons you just said. Because of that. That's be smart. And she could have been the one, oh, actually, no, because he's still not related to, actually, yeah, he is kind of related. Because even the strong boy, like Jace and they Lucerys, they're not, like, she's not the grandmother towards them, but she still is somewhat related to them because of probably like distant cousins. But she says, keep it real. Don't give it to them. Give it to your granddaughters first. And now she's saying, give it to your illegitimate son. I love her.
Well,
she's real.
Come on. Jace and Luke are absolutely 100% Laenor's kids. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, what Kool-Aid are you drinking, Mike? You and Corliss need to lay off that Kool-Aid, all right? Because all right, they're just very strong looking, man.
I mean, you know what happened to Vaymond when he was started spewing that nonsense?
Oh my gosh. Sislet he had a headache.
He kept his tongue.
I bet he did.
But yeah. So no, Rhaenys has got a history of being, very
Amazing,
self-sacrificing and very much,
a queen who never was. Never complained about
as much as it's Corliss's vision that, this is all about legacy, Rhaenys is really the one with her eye on the ball. And
oh my God.
Corlys is, I imagine Corlys is going to run into some issues over the next couple of years without her to kind of guide him.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like not just him, but a few people. Rhaenyra, everyone, even Daemon. Because she kept the room with everyone.
She did. She kept Daemon on a bit of a leash too.
I hope Baela, because Baela was under she was her steed, was she not? She was Rhaenys' squire, or she was under Rhaena. Maybe some of that rubbed off on her. Maybe we still might see some of that. But other than that, man, there was nobody like her.
But Rhaena, Baela's very much like her father, and
oh boy,
she's kind of a very wild spirit. She does whatever she wants to do. And
oh boy,
yeah, she's not going to get any calmer. So but I really love the relationship that she's got with Jace. Like the fact that those two can go to wherever that thing is, wherever that place is, that she's like shooting her crossbow, and they could just be real with one another, and just put everything aside and just talk about, things the way they are, This is Harlan Strong loved us, and he blah 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 and this and that. So
yeah, I like how they're building that relationship too. But knowing Game of Thrones and knowing what you say, you can't get in touch with nobody. They make us fall in love with people, fall in love with each other, only to rip that moment for us. And I'm thinking about even like with Robb Stark with his fiance or wife, and you know how that happened.
Yeah.
Or Jon Snow and Daenerys. Or Jon Snow and Eagle.
McQueen.
My queen.
McQueen.
You'll always be my queen.
She my queen.
Yeah, right.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
All right. So that is the red dragon and the gold, or the gold dragon and the red.
Yes.
And I think that's good. And I think we will. I'm looking forward to next week, but I'm really looking forward to week 7.
I know. I think week 7 is gonna probably equal week 4. Like I was telling you guys before, I hope that watch out for week 4. It definitely did do any disservice. But listen to what you just said, Mike. I'm now very much excited for week 7. We'll put it on my calendar. Yep. I'm gonna make sure we have a big snacks for that week.
That's it. All right. So thanks everybody for listening, and tell everybody you know about this podcast, and we will catch you back next week.
Yes. See you next time, y'all.